Bradley, as at 11, 12 years ago, you couldn't stand the man that you would call the Lion of Bodilon. I mean, you couldn't stand.
I never called him the Lion of Bodilon. I called him the Alaafin of Bodilon.
Okay.
Never the Lion of Bodilon.
Okay.
A lion has to rule, and a lion has some nobility to it. This one has no nobility to him. Please.
Okay. You're making my point exactly. Okay, you called him. Okay, I missed that. It was something of Bodilon. It was the Alaafin. That's what you called him.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think you saw then that that man was ever going to become president. And yet here we are. In fact, I think I watched one of your interviews where you said that if he became president, you were going to go on exile.
Let me explain something to you, Teju. Because this question has come so many times that I'm thankful for the opportunity to perhaps explain it so that the idiots who have continued to assume that I have broken my word would be clear. I said if he won the presidency, I'll leave Nigeria on exile. So let me clear that up. For him to have won, the people would have had to have voted for him. We didn't vote for him. He stole the presidency. Yakubu and INEC sold him the presidency. The presidency is not an expression of the people's will. It is an expression of the debauchery of INEC and the height of our judicial corruption. He did not win the presidency. If I had left, I would have been sanitizing and deodorizing a skunk. If nothing else, I rise and fall by my word. And when I said that I would live on exile if this man won, it was so that people will know that I do not believe Nigerians to be depraved enough to be possessed of the idiocy to vote somebody like him into power. And they did not. Anybody who prefers to delude themselves can continue to delude themselves, but Tinubu knows, INEC knows, the judiciary knows, and so do a lot of Nigerians, that Tinubu did not win the presidency. He stole it. So I'm not leaving because he did not win. It's that simple. That I'm still here is in rebuke of him. It actually cost me a lot more to stay here. It's not just the multiple level of danger that I face on a daily basis by remaining in Nigeria. Because if they will be planning my murder 3 years ago when they were not in power, one of his goons in Lagos State was the one sat at the head of the plot to kill me. They are the ones in power now. Ordinarily, I should run now. But I'm here. I am here because he did not win. He knows it, and every man and his dog in Lagos State knows it. He was beaten resoundingly in Lagos on the 25th of February. He couldn't even make 15% in Lagos. Segun Agbaje, the INEC commissioner in Lagos State, cannot produce the form EC8A for Lagos State up till today. I was the person who was charged by the OB legal team to collect the election material from INEC. He could not, up until today, INEC in Lagos State cannot give us the form EC8A, which is the polling unit level result. Because they know he lost. He lost woefully. He was thoroughly rejected across the length and breadth of the state that he has held hostage. For 24 years as at that time, he lost. So how much more the other parts of Nigeria? Let them continue fooling themselves. He has snatched it, grabbed it, but he can't run with it. And that's why we are all in the mess that we are in today. So yeah, if he had won, if Nigerians had been foolish enough to have voted for him, I would have left. It wouldn't be because of him. It would be out of protest that I could be stuck with such evil people who would have found the grace to vote for somebody like him. But as I have said, they did not vote for him. They rejected him. He has forced himself on us. And we can't do much about that. But I'm not going to legitimize his stealing by leaving. He didn't win. When you look at our country, Nigeria, you'll find a place that is unparalleled and incomparable to any other country in the world, unless you consider Congo. the Republic of the old Zaire. Nigeria is blessed with human and material resources incomparable. We have oil, we have gold, we have everything that should appertain to good life. The Nigerian has no business whatsoever with poverty. But look around us. Nigerians are living in multi-dimensional poverty. And the ruiners of the country, they are living like pashas. They are living the lives of kings and princes. But the people themselves are deliberately impoverished. So it is not out of place to compare Nigeria to that place that was described as consuming its inhabitants, because Nigeria is cannibalistic in the extreme. In recent days, you've heard the story of Okwama, where the soldiers were murdered by a few, and where the soldiers went back with reprisal attacks and leveled almost an entire community, killing indiscriminately. Lekki Toll Gate and the massacre that took place there in October 2020 is another good example of what we have become as a people. Earlier in the year, we were talking about Bokos in Plateau State, where people were killed on Christmas Day like flies. Nigeria is the only place where you find the government talking about repentant terrorists and absorbing them into the army. Nigeria is the only place that will be as rich as it is, and you see people desperately scooping hot food off boiling cauldrons, packing rice with sand. This is the country where the rulers were hiding palliatives meant for people during COVID. Everything about Nigeria is suggestive of the country that the spies entered, where it consumes, it devours. Those are the words. It devours. It is a land that devours its inhabitants. It is instructive that it is this same country that could not find 5 billion for the student loan scheme, that they are busy buying 160 million naira Jeep. They are praying billions into private accounts. You have people who should be in jail, rotting in prison cells, presiding over the affairs of the country. And you think that it is not succinct that we describe such a country as a place that devours its inhabitants. The Nigerian is busy crossing the Mediterranean Sea after surviving the Sahara and the slave markets of Libya. What are they fleeing from? Because that's not migration. That's fleeing. They are fleeing what has become a functional war zone. How did we get to this point? In my youth, you could go to England without collecting visa. They will stamp your visa at the gate. It's right there at immigration control that they will give you they'll stamp your visa to enter. This is the same country today where you require millions to buy ticket and you need to queue. You see our people queuing in the rain and in the sun to get visas to go out. Cephas, West African Cephas, the Togolese currency has more weight than our naira today. How did we get here? So it is, and if you remember, this analogy that you are raising from this anecdote, this is an anecdote that goes back over 10 years. It wasn't this bad then, and it's going to get much worse. So it's unfortunate that we are where we are, but this is where we are. And there is nothing about where we are that is suggestive of any immediate turnaround anytime soon. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am merely speaking to what I see. There is nothing about our country to encourage hope or offer any worthy aspiration. There is no way I will fulfill my purpose without offending people. There is no way. If I was going to fulfill my purpose is simple. Tell the truth to Nigerians. Do what you can to change the reality, the sickening reality of our existence. Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that without causing offense. There is no way I wouldn't offend people. No way. I was always going to offend people. that I would even dare to speak against what they consider their interest is already annoying them. So when you now say the truth as offensively as I elect to do sometimes, because I can be very deliberately offensive, it is actually quite deliberate, and it gives me a lot of pleasure to look at evil people who believe themselves to be gods and tell them what they have. I know they don't like it, but it actually gives me a lot of pleasure to do so, because in doing so, I give courage to a lot of people who have embraced the fear that they communicate on a daily basis. The sirens that you said the soldiers were blaring, it was designed to scare people out of the way. So the refusal to be intimidated is already annoying to them. Do you understand? So to now look such a person in the eye and say to him exactly what you believe he is already on his own vexatious. And I enjoy that. So when you have already taken that on and you derive pleasure from angering them, you must have come to the knowledge of the fact that Toba Shele, Koshele, let what will happen, happen. I'm not, like I said, I don't have a death wish. But the truth must be told, whether people like it or not.